Hey, good morning, Emma.
Hey, Albert.
How are you?
Good,
on
how
this
are
fine
you?
morning? Oh, excellent, as
Good.
always.
Good for a Wednesday.
Yeah, pretty good for a Wednesday.
So today we're going to have a chat and we're going to talk about a couple of different things of what's going on, in transport and logistics. We're going to talk about some reporting that we're doing.
Yes.
Road safety, which is, very, very, very
Yes.
important. Lots of stuff going on at the moment. Cost in logistics and, how we haven't seen much movement so far. SEN, we've done a lot of work with the SEN in the last couple of weeks.
Thank you, Craig Hutchinson. Well
Thank
done.
you.
And Harley.
And
the
Harley
team at
and the
SEN.
team. But also the end of year boom. So, end of financial year, what are we expecting? What are we looking for? And how's that going to affect the rest of the year?
Oh, I'm excited. Let's get started. Well, good morning to you all. I'm sitting here with Emma Martino, the General Manager of State Transport. I'm obviously Albert Sanusa, the MD, and we're having a bit of a chat about June. It's mid-June, and a couple of things that we've been doing. For us, just at a higher level, we've gone back to the basics, Business 101, and what does that mean? It means we're just looking at all of our assets within the business, and obviously our most important and always essential asset is our staff. And we've been talking to various consultants, and one of the themes that has come out is that not always is the activity managed to the extent it should be in relation to achieving the corporate goals and targets. So we've really had a bit of a helicopter view of all of our operations in all our different divisions, speaking to the divisional managers. And we brought in this new realignment of what is the corporate goal, and then to ensure that every bit of activity, every hour, every minute is properly focused on achieving our goals. And I think that's really important for any company. And sometimes there are misalignments, and we've been through and we've had a bit of a sweep through. We've noticed that a few items aren't exactly aligned. So we've created some great reporting here, and it also caused you to review a lot of the job descriptions to better address the functions. And as a business, does its day-to-day business, things change over months and a year. So it's good to realign. So we've been doing a lot of focusing, a lot of realigning on reporting. So how did you go with the job descriptions? How did that?
The job descriptions were good. We did a big report. We spoke to all the divisional managers, and we all pretty much put our heads together and thought, what's the best way to help everybody in their own role to do good things? How do we outline their core values? How do we outline the core business, goals in a job description? We came up with some really good job descriptions. We altered things, we modified things, we removed some stuff, but in the end it was well received by the staff, and now everyone's on the right path.
Yeah, look, I did drop into a couple of your meetings, and one of the common phrases that you would use a lot in talking to staff and just making sure they're aligned with the corporate view was creating opportunities. Yeah. How can we create opportunities for our staff so that they can skill up, or where can we offer more support or additional training? I know you looked at that, and we've created a number of training modules. And just to give them a bit of a ruler, a benchmark, so that they know where they're at in relation to fulfilling the tasks of the business. And I know you came up with some sort of metric, a score, that you would share with the staff. And I think in these type of conversations, there should be a little room for interpretation. And what I mean by that is that we are very articulate and specific on how we outline the task for our staff, and that they have some sort of benchmark to be able to self-assess. I think that was a really good takeaway from all the staff from the meetings that you had with them that I observed, that I thought was very clever. And we had discussions earlier on, a couple of weeks back, where SEN Radio, Craig Hutchison, thank you very much for inviting us to one of your famous breakfast meetings. And he had not only a number of business people there, but a few sports people. Yeah. And we had the pleasure of meeting the great Andrew Gaze. Olympian. He is Australian basketball. And one of his phrases when he was talking about inspiring people and helping them achieve the best that they can achieve within their given profession, was that creating a great environment where ordinary people can do great things. I mean, both you and I were absolutely taken back just with the emotion that he was relaying the story, and he had a fantastic lead-up story. I'm not about to repeat it because I'm not as articulate as Andrew Gaze, and I have to say he was very articulate.
It was very good.
He was a very emotional speaker, and everyone in the room, he had us captivated for at least a solid 10 minutes
100%.
where no one even dared to breathe. We were just captivated in his very eloquent, descriptive stories that led to, how do you create a great environment for ordinary people to do great things. And we've thought internally, how can we do that at State Transport? How can we create a great environment where people can shine and do great things? Have we done? We started looking at it more in here, so
Yeah,
we've ticked off a few
we've
things.
ticked off a few boxes. I mean, our culture is I'd say it's very good. It's very strong. We have a great culture here at State Transport, but making people great again, we've put together some training modules and started cross training everybody.
Yeah.
So everybody has full knowledge of what goes on. So nobody is left out, or nobody doesn't know something that somebody else doesn't know. Everybody is taught the same way, the same thing, and it's great.
Yeah, and I know we do reward the staff with the wins when we've had a great success, or they specifically have actually shined in any given month. And part of creating that culture to allow people to do great things is, I know we have an Employee of the Month now.
Yes, we have an Employee of the Month.
Our state manager gave it to Mirren, who's one of our fleet controllers, and she's been an outstanding performer for many years, and that was recognised. So that's part of that culture that we're building into the business. And we've always had a system by which, but we're promoting it even more now to the staff, that we have a preference to recruit from within.
Yes.
So that if they have a career path here at State Transport, they can fulfil that. And I have to say, even your story, you started off in admin, you became the admin manager, and then into contract management, and then worked in different divisions of the business. And here you sit today. Congratulations as the not just general manager of transport, but group general manager. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for both our warehousing, our interstate, and our local operations. So I think anyone working here would be inspired by that, and you're an inspirational story in yourself, that people can see that if you work hard, apply yourself, and look to achieve the corporate goals, that you'll be recognised and you've advanced throughout the business. And again, I think it's great for staff here to see that there is opportunity, and that we are creating an environment where ordinary people, not saying you're ordinary, Emma, by any stretch of the imagination, but people that apply themselves can achieve great things.
Yep,
so
can.
well done, and I'm inspired by you, and
thank you.
I know a lot of other staff here are as well. So we're getting there, but more needs to be done. You can never sit back and think you've got it all right and everything's working perfectly. It's a constant. Business 101 is always evolving, and we're constantly looking at new and different ways of doing things. And another hot topic, just of recent times, is this tragic event on the roads that we had up in Sydney. People enjoying themselves, and then a devastating event occurs. So we're of course talking about just the road operators, drivers out there, and how do we manage our people in here. If we can, we'll ask our cameraman today, the great James, he's smiling at us now, looking at us, to perhaps include a few stills of a couple of large TV screens we have in operations that give a very precise visual to everyone in operations and anyone walking throughout operations. And I often make sure I walk through operations 5 or 6 times a day, as do other managers, and we can see quite a visual dialing of each single driver, where are they at with their fatigue management.
Yep.
And we do a number of other things monitoring these drivers. It's not only to see what they're doing, but also to support them and remind them in the event that they're getting close to fatigue management and road conditions, discussing all these things with the driver. It just builds that culture of safety and compliancy and risk management. So we do a couple of other things as well.
Yeah, so there's the fatigue management, which you follow every day. The drivers, it's not only part of a visual that we see in the office, it's actually designed to alert the driver at any point while he is on the road as well. So it'll count down the hours for the driver, it'll alert the driver that he's due a break. And then we call the driver, make sure he's taking his break, make sure that his stationary is not working. We do the speed management as well. So we're managing our driver's speed. We're looking at where they're travelling throughout the day. Our application, which is great with the safety and compliance, will notify us of a speeding driver in the event there is a speeding driver. And our team is straight onto the phone with the driver. We've got Chris Zagutis out there as well, who's often on the road with the drivers, going through the safety and compliance in regards to the trucks, the load restraints, all the safety requirements for a vehicle, including tyres and things like that. So we take it very seriously, and it's a day-to-day thing.
And look, no one sets out to do the wrong thing, but in the course of work, particularly drivers can become hyper-focused and absorbed in the task at hand, and where they're like the umpire, just to check, reassure them or give them advice, but at the end of the day, to also make sure that they're compliant on all occasions. And our technology allows for that. And we've invested a lot. And as I said, James, if you could kindly insert a couple of screenshots of the type of technology that we have, which is quite advanced, and it's very innovative. And it helps keep all of our staff safe, and equally, very importantly, the community at large, because we are, as all companies out there, a responsible corporate citizen, number one, and we ensure our business will be run and we are compliant in all things that we must be compliant in, and so are our people as well. Now, Emma, the cost within logistics has not abated. It has continued to increase and go up. And I know all businesses have been affected. No one has had a rent reduction. And if you have leases, as we've signed up leases recently that have come to their first 12 months, and they've all have ratchet clauses, so they've gone up 3% or more. Our operating costs have also been heavily impacted. Insurances, land tax. I don't know what's going on with land tax, but our land tax has gone up 120%. I don't know anything that has run away so much. I'd love to hear from other listeners out there and viewers of this program to see what their thoughts are, but I still can't somehow reconcile the increase in land tax. And if you have like 5 sites like we have, the cost is enormous.
Huge.
Cost of staff and trying to grow the business, everything is just add on. So I don't know, what have you found, Emma?
Yeah, staffing. So I've been doing a lot of work around staffing and recruiting and things like that. It's very expensive to have staff.
And the placement agencies.
Oh
my God.
That is
the
a
cost.
fee. The cost of that is ginormous to put on a staff member.
It's staggering. We put on about 10 staff, and I already know. I know the number, but I just don't want to say it. It scares me to even look at it. So
the cost, staffing is a huge cost. Labour costs, that none of them have abated. None of them have gone down, and they seem to be growing as the cost of living is growing as well. So that is a huge cost of the business. Yes,
so a shout out to all the procurement managers. Please turn the volume up now, and please have a quick listen to us. Look within your own business and tell me what costs have gone down. So please be generous and spread some goodwill with your suppliers, because we're all under pressure. Our costs have gone up exponentially. Margins have reduced. We're doing our very best to offer and maintain a quality service. So procurement managers out there, we love you, as you do know that. But please, send us some love as well. That's all I'm saying on it. That's all I'm saying on it.
So Albert, end of financial year is fast approaching.
Yeah, June 30.
June 30. So we're always expecting a big boom at the end of June, and then everything sort of sparks up after June and takes the long run into Christmas and the holiday period. Big numbers in warehousing, huge numbers in warehousing. We are at full capacity at the moment and continuously growing. Our transport is growing as well, which is very, very good. We're looking forward to seeing what the end of June brings, but also into the new financial year.
Yeah.
Seeing more job numbers come through, seeing a lot more pallets being stored. Our warehouse here in Heatherton on Thursday had 1,200 pallets in and out alone, just the one particular
Just
site.
one site, yeah.
So,
And what are some of the tips we can give to companies out there in relation to coming into a peak period? All logistics companies will be under pressure to perform. So some of the key things they should be asking now would be what capacity your 3PL providers have to store more product, because your volumes will peak. So checking in with them now and giving them the heads up as to be prepared for further volumes or increased volumes for you. And I mean, to collaborate with your logistics supplier is the key. Everyone will be making a big push for moving their product and getting it sold, and the supply chain is so important for that. So getting in early and preparing, letting your suppliers know what's coming is number one.
definitely.
Especially on the 3PL, to have
Definitely.
room, volume. How many containers have we got coming in? One client
for one
alone.
client alone,
There was
yes.
40 plus
Yeah,
containers that
40
they've
plus
just
containers.
said, hey guys, we've got 40 containers coming in next week. Oh, great, thanks.
Thanks for that.
And but as always, we'll perform. But it would be nice to know in advance, because obviously containers left 6 weeks ago from their port of origin.
Yep.
Better that you could give everyone the heads
Absolutely.
up on what's coming, volumes, and then also from the transport side of things, what are your requirements are going to be? And again, June 30th is coming up really close, so there's going to be a lot of end of year sales going on.
Big promotions.
Book
happening.
early,
Yep.
book in advance, get the planning right, speak to all your people, not only internally within your operation, but also, as I said again, with the suppliers, a really big thing. Bring your suppliers; they're partners with you.
Yes.
So partner with them, and you'll all end up with better outcomes and better results with a lot less stress in those last couple of weeks. That's for sure.
So, Albert, a couple of weeks ago, we had the state transport banners at the A-League final.
Yes, very impressive.
So, Melbourne v Sydney. We didn't come back with a win.
What was the score again?
6-0, I believe. So,
that was embarrassing.
Wasn't a great result for Victoria, for Melbourne at all. But how good did the signage look? So, we've actually put up some footage of what it looked like on LinkedIn a couple of days ago. So if you follow us on LinkedIn, definitely check it out. It looked phenomenal. It looked great. It was an awesome atmosphere. It was heavily watched, so it was really, really good to be a part of.
Look, and as they say, the words never land easily, but there's always next year that Melbourne will come back and hopefully we'll be victorious this time around. There's been a bit of doom and gloom that we've been speaking about over the last few months because of volumes and then just the lack of staff. But there's been a good run-up to the end of this fiscal year. There's a lot of positive things still going on. And as always, we're looking for opportunity. And if you do look for opportunity, you'll find opportunity. So
100%.
Our message is, look for the silver lining. I think it's going to come with a really positive end of fiscal year. Our volumes are peaking. Orders are already coming in for vehicles and more warehouse space. So I'm pleased and optimistic for this end of year. So I'm pretty pumped, Emma.
Yeah.
How are you?
No, it's been good. We've seen a lot of booms, lots of promos are going on. There's heaps of freight moving around. It's been a nice little bump up to the end of the financial year. So really looking forward to seeing it follow through to the end of the year. And it looks promising.
Okay, we're pumped. We're pumped. Great.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in with Albert and I today. We look forward to seeing you on the next podcast.
State Transport, our people are your solution. State Transport, our people are your solution.
Statetransport.com.au